so excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall. So excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall.
Hello there, we are live. Welcome to another episode on the favorite webinar that makes HR professionals stand out. And what am I talking about? You said that HR Digest webinar. And today happens to be episode 138. Oof, we are going far. So, you know me already. I'm Felicia Aye, and I am your host today. So please, I hope that you came with very high expectations, and you know we never ever disappoint. Today we are here to also give you something great to help you, succeed and then even do better than you ever thought you could do in your profession as an HR. And you know, this beautiful digest show is brought to you by none other than the SEDAT HR Consults. They have thought of us and they have made it their own, burden to ensure that we succeed in all that we do. And so here they are bringing us a powerful HR show every Sunday. So there's no better place to be on a Sunday afternoon than here. What is beautiful than starting your week as an HR with a new and beautiful update or solid modern techniques under your sleeves? And that is why we are here. So today, you might have seen already. What are we talking about? What are we treating? We are talking about a very important topic. You know, before now, the world used to be a place where people used to do individual things, and then good work was measured based on individual output and all. But you will agree with me that today's world of work is fast changing, and success is no longer, dependent on an individual brilliance, but on how well people come together as a team. High performing teams don't just happen by chance. You will agree with me on that. They are intentionally built through clarity, trust, diversity, and systems that enable people to thrive. So then today, our focus is building high performing teams, strategies for success. You are here to get strategies to succeed in building high performing teams. And then we will explore on what makes some teams stand out, how leaders can sustain performance in hybrid work environment, and the key mindsets HR professionals must champion to keep teams aligned, motivated, and effective. And then we have just the right person to help us do that today. To help us digest this topic I just told you about, is a very, very VIP whose job centered around this topic. For him, this is what he does day in, day out. Building systems, building people, building teams. That is, let me say, if we were in church, I would say that is his calling. If you went to church, say hallelujah, please. Say hallelujah in the comments. Let me know you went to church. Okay, so people, please, let's make it engaging. Our guest is joining us right now. And today, let's do a beautiful twist. We are going to give our guest the floor, and then he's going to do a beautiful presentation on the topic. Whilst he's doing that, please, we would want to see your questions flowing in the comment section. If you are joining us, wherever you are joining us from, please say hi and leave a comment. Let's know that I am not here alone, but you are with me. Please, I need to see my comment section flooded with your hi, hello, I'm watching from here, I'm joining you from here, all of that beautiful things. Please do it. Let's make the show about all of us. Yes. So who is joining us today? Our guest today is none other. He wants me to just call him by his name, not adding any preface. So I'm going to try to do that. Our guest today is Wilson Sampson. Who is Wilson? Wilson Sampson. You see the sensing. So forgive me if I bass more. Okay, so Wilson Sampson is a system expert, clarity coach, and team builder with nearly 2 decades of experience helping organizations and leaders build systems that drive clarity, efficiency, and high performance. Over the years, he has trained and coached more than 10,000 Okay, more than 10,000 professionals across Africa, the UK, and the US, working in industries as diverse as technology, oil and gas, logistics, education, and non profit. Wilson Sampson is also the co-founder and chief growth officer of Lecturer Ford Limited, where he focuses on guiding teams and entrepreneurs to achieve sustainable performance without burnout. Yes, he is widely recognized as a thought leader in helping teams move from simply functioning to truly thriving. And so, are we not blessed to have him here today? Somebody who has trained over 10,000 people, be our guest today to help us also thrive as HR professionals. If you are thrilled to have him join us this afternoon and ready to receive from him, then welcome. Wilson Sampson, our guest today. Please let's welcome him in the comment sections. People, we know how to do this. Let's make him feel welcome. He's joining us all the way from Wilson Sampson. You are so much welcome to SEDAT HR.
All right, good afternoon. Can you hear me audibly?
Very so.
Wow, I was wondering, was that my profile or someone else's profile? You did
Oh,
you
yes.
did justice.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I trust we had a great day. For those who went to church and those who stayed at home, those who watched online, I hope it was great and engaging.
Right.
And so,
Yes.
Felicia,
So
so
at this moment,
what are we
yes,
cooking?
please. At this moment, we are all yours. We are here to listen to all the wisdom and nuggets you have for us as HR professionals, for us to succeed in building stronger and, I mean, better teams than we already have.
All right. So first and foremost, when it comes to building high-performing teams, I want us to look at what are the challenges. A lot of times we know what to do. We say we know what to do, but ideas are cheap. But when it comes to implementation, that is actually where we struggle. So I would like to start this conversation with looking at the challenges then before we now look at the solution. Because if we focus on the solution and we don't look at how those challenges can affect whatever strategies we have for success, then we're going to be making a big mistake. So one of the things that we need to look out for us to be able to build a high performing team in our organization, you must first start by identifying what could actually go wrong. So please wait. Let's still go back to the first. Okay, let's leave it at this. Then I would flow into that. So the first thing that we need to look at is the major challenge that comes when it comes to building a high performing team. Number one is limited resources. When resources are limited, it will be difficult to build a high performing team. Rather, what will be happening is we'll see improvisation. 10 people might be doing the work, 2 people might be doing the work of 10 persons, all because you want to maximize your strength. But that will not actually help in building the team. Rather, it would encourage burnout. The next thing that we need to look at is challenge is talent retention will suffer. So if you're trying to build a high performing team, one of the challenges that you're going to be faced with is the issue of talent retention. A lot of people that would come into the organization will always want to leave as well because they might get some other offers. And so it will be a battle of what is actually motivating the employee, or what is actually motivating the team member, or what is in it for them. Because if money is the motivation, you discover that they'll be looking for more money. But for you to build a high performing team, you need to check out what is your retention rate like when it comes to your employee. Are they actually happy? Then we're going to be dealing with cultural diversity. You're going to be meeting people from different walks of life. You're going to be meeting people from different country, different continents, different culture. So if you are going to build a high performing team, you need to pay attention to these challenges I'm mentioning. For those just joining, I mentioned that one of the major challenges that you are going to face when building a high performance team is limited resources. Resources are not going to be adequate. Then the second thing is that you're going to have challenges with talent retention. You may attract them, but how are you going to retain them? Then the next thing you're going to be battling with cultural diversity. They are coming from different backgrounds. So the question will be, how will your system or how will the organization be able to absorb them into what your work culture looks like? Then you're going to have challenges with infrastructures and logistics. The people you're trying to, when you're trying to build a high-performing team, you must remember that they are going to be coming from different distance, different locations. So how are you going to manage that logistics of bringing them in, building them? Are you going to provide accommodation for them? Or, those are some of the factors that could actually affect the performance of your team. Then you're going to have issues with corruption and governance issue. It's not everybody that appears that is fit enough. So it will be a case of many are called, but few are chosen. So out of the chosen few, how do you pick the best? It's not everybody that you call up that can actually perform in your team. So you're going to have a challenge with dealing with the right employee, dealing with the right team member, because every team has a goal. It's not everybody that can fit into your game plan. It's not everybody that can fit into your goal. So what do you do? So these are some of the challenges that you're going to be faced with as we look at how to build. So we're first starting with the challenges, then we now look at, okay, based on the challenges that we have, then we now look at the solution to these challenges. Then last but not the least, you're going to be battling with limited training and development, because you want your team to perform. If care is not taken, you may not have that opportunity to train them. So it's going to be more of assumption. Okay, you have bring on board what you have tried elsewhere, and let us see how that works out here. And that might actually be a disservice to your organization. So now let's go to the meal of today: building high-performing teams, strategies for success. There's one of the favorite quote I love from a movie titled Sisters Act. It says, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you have to wake up and pay attention. So let's flow. The first criteria you need to look at is you need to define your goal. In order to build a high-performing team, you need to pay attention to 3 key areas. The first area is clarity. You need to define your goals. How clear are your goals? Because you don't blame them if you have not trained them. If you have not gotten their buy-in, it will be difficult to be able to get the best out of them. So the first thing you need to look at is, how are you defining your goal, your organizational goal as an HR professional, as a business executive listening? How are you communicating your vision, your goal to your team members? Do you just assume that they understand what you're saying? So for you to be able to do that, you need to establish a shared understanding of the team's purpose, objectives, and each member's responsibility. Everybody must understand that this is the role I need to play for us to get X, Y, Z. And not a case of you just wish that they understood what is happening. So that takes us to the next point. You need to foster open communication. In terms of communication, you are trying to communicate with clarity and not to get them confused. You are trying to be clear and not trying to be clever. So in terms of your communication, you need to encourage transparent communication. That means that you must encourage feedback. Unfortunately, most times in organization, we hear, we don't listen. It's when crises erupt, that is when we now have crisis experts. So imagine if we listen to each other to say, okay, this is the way to carry out this task, or this is the way to go about this recruitment, or this is the way to carry out this onboarding process, or this is the way to relate with this client, or this is the way to serve this client, this is the way we can expand, and everybody synergizes together. So once the communication is clear, and we also encourage constructive feedback. Usually I tell people, and some of the teams I've trained over the years, that you don't criticize without a recommendation. That's why I said earlier that talk is cheap. Anybody could come up to say, when you want to build a team, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to put in place. But when the chips are down, you will realize that a solution. So one of the things I would encourage you listening is build a culture of open communication. Open communication is, let us listen to one another. All of us cannot do the talking at the same time. Let's find a way to be sure that we are clear with the message we are passing across to one another. For example, if employees do not understand themselves, it will be difficult for them to serve their customers well. So it's understanding that helps you to be able to serve your clients the way they desire to be served. And that would also encourage you to listen to feedback from them. For instance, you can't tell a customer that we are sorry for any inconvenience this may have caused you. You have simply told the customer that you are responsible for whatever you're experiencing. But however, imagine when you tell your customers that we are sorry for what you have experienced, and I take personal responsibility for whatever has happened. Please, how can we make this up to you? At that instance, the customer begins to feel, oh, I'm talking to a human being and not a robot, and not somebody who has a script that the person is acting out. At that instance, they will say, okay, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. And that's where collaboration and trust is built. So for you to be able to encourage open communication in your organization, you must promote collaboration and trust through active listening. If your employees know that, or your colleagues at work or your teammates, if they know that you are a leader who listens, they will throw all the support behind you to find a lasting solution to whatever challenges you are facing in your organization. That leads us to the next point. Emphasize collaboration and teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. Now, when we collaborate, we are able to produce faster results. I wouldn't be here without the support of my teammates or the people that I've worked with over the past. You know, sometimes I just flip back and I remember the contribution of people towards my growth. And, you know, we live in a world where, yes, we encourage competition to an extent, but you cannot do it alone. A tree does not make a forest, so they say, but you need the support of everyone to be able to get to the right place. So when it comes to collaboration and teamwork, a culture has to be created. Earlier when I mentioned that 3 things that we need to pay attention to, number 1 was clarity. Now, culture is very, very key. Without culture, your strategy will be eating for breakfast. So when we talk about the culture, creating a culture of teamwork, you're looking at where you respect each other's opinion, where you say your opinion counts. We show empathy where we need to show empathy. So the goal is about the welfare of the people we are working with and not about the work itself. Because in the workplace, we spend more time at work than we actually spend at home or elsewhere. So if we do not have an understanding of this is how we can make things work here, we will all be struggling. So we need mutual respect for one another. We don't know it all. What do you have to say? I'll give an instance. There's a story I learned about an organization on the verge of folding up, and everybody was running helter-skelter, including the MDs, the top management, to find a lasting solution to the organization's challenges. Guess who provided the solution? A cleaner. The cleaner was on the lift with the MD and said, I would like to see you. And the MD said, what do you want to see me for? Said, I know that the organization is going through a tough time, but I have a solution. Said, okay, what is it? He got to his office and he said, okay, on one condition, please, I would like the company secretary to be around. He said, okay. I would like the lawyer to be around. I said, okay, now they're around. What I'm going to tell you now, you are going to give me you're going to give me a percentage of the sale that is going to be recorded as a result of this strategy I'm about to. You said, look, whatever you want, we are going to give it to you. What we want is we want to see a lasting solution. And he said, you know, we produce toothpaste. When you press the toothpaste, the diameter is very small. Can we increase diameter in such a way that when you press the toothpaste once, it comes out twice? So the consumption will be faster and people will be consuming more and we will be able to produce more. And it might look foolish, but the moment they applied what he said, the fortunes of the organization turned around. Why? Because they listened to the contribution of the staff. They did not look at it that what just like if we're Christian, just say what can anything good come out from Nazareth? That was not the case. They looked at it that this guy is making saying something sensible. Let's give him an audience. And they did, and boom, the fortunes of the organization turned around. So for us to be able to build a high-performing team, we need to encourage a culture of collaboration and teamwork, which leads us to the next point, developing emotional intelligence. We hear those things, but sometimes when there is tension in the organization, it seems like the intelligence is betrayed by the emotions. Now, we must understand that conflicts are going to happen, crises are going to show up. That's the way to grow. But for us to be able to build a high-performing team, it's not the time to blame someone. You are responsible for what is happening. Rather, if it works, we all win. If it doesn't work, we all take the blame. So it's not the case of making somebody a scapegoat. So in developing emotional intelligence, we create a culture where we are all vulnerable to one another. So I am sharing my pain with you, not because you are going to use it against me as a weakness, but I need your help. So a lot of times, a lot of people are too strong for a comfort, and so when things have gone completely out of hand, that is actually when they own up. So, but when we create a culture of emotional intelligence where we're able to show empathy, where we are able to manage our emotions and recognize what could actually trigger a bad behavior, and we are focused on building a dynamic relationship that will enhance decision making. In developing emotional intelligence, let's see it from the angle of shaping decision making. If we are able to apply intelligence where our emotions have betrayed us in the past, then we'll be able to make the right decision to make our organization move forward. And that leads us to the next point. You need to empower your team members. Of what use is it to give them a role and you don't empower them? You don't give them that authority, that autonomy to be able to exercise some level of control, to be able to do one or two things. Nothing frustrates teamwork like micromanaging. You must learn to trust people. You must learn to trust your teammates. Yes, let them make mistakes. After all, if you don't make mistakes, how can you learn? The first time we tried to work, we were not successful. The first time we tried to talk, you are not. So when it comes to building a team, you must give them that autonomy, provide resources. Don't assume they should manage without providing resources for them to work with. Then you must provide some level of support. Provide support. You know, when you provide support, people grow, people feel their importance, people feel, oh, we are valued in this organization, and they will want to go the extra mile. Then nothing motivates your team like knowing well that they have your support, that you are giving them a free hand in the sense that we're not saying that we should tolerate bad behaviors or indiscipline or irresponsibility, but talent is not enough. But however, how do we manage our emotions? How do we empower people? So that empowerment is something that we should really look out for if we actually want to. Empowerment could be encouraging them to use their creativity. Think outside the box. Don't even create the box in the first place. What do you think you can do for us to get out of this mess? I'll give an instance. One of the organizations I worked for, I was an account officer, and we had a very big challenge on our hands. One of our major clients was owing, and we had to stop supplies, but they kept on sending us more requests for more supplies, and everybody was running away from. So I had to take the bull by the horn to call the procurement manager and said, can we have a meeting? He said, okay. We fixed the meeting. I now came up with all the invoices of the deliveries that we have made to them, and we now did a reconciliation. How many of those deliveries that we have made have you paid? And we now discovered that some of the invoices that were submitted were missing. So it was difficult to pay for what you cannot find. So we had to reissue another invoice and submit it. And boom, out of 60 million, they paid us 30 million. And it was wild celebration in the organization that, wow. They had to ask me, how many days did you fast to achieve this? Because it has never happened in the history of the organization that kind of client will pay that amount of money. I said, it's all about, you empowered me to go and build relationship. So I've gone there to do what I feel is best. So that leads us to the next point. Lead by example. From example I just shared now, I was transparent to share with my teammate that this is what I did to grow my own account. So you can explore that. So if you also have a challenge, I can go on a meeting with you. So it's not a case of that's what you are paid for. Go and fix it, or else you are fired. So we must be very careful of the kind of language we use. The question we should ask ourselves is, what I'm telling my teammates, is it building them or is it destroying them? Yes, there's a place to apply pressure, but there's also a place to empower with empathy and tell them, you know what? You can make, I'm rooting for you. You can make it happen. You can do it. Because sometimes lack of empathy will make some people not even try because of the fear of making mistakes. Now, by leading by example, you demonstrate the behaviors and the values you expect from your team. So if I could tell my teammates that, okay, I'll go on the call with you, let's go and meet the client, let's have a conversation. It empowered them to say, oh, this person has our interest in heart. And it provided a room for accountability, growth, and integrity. They could say, oh, we can trust Wilson, we can trust Felicia. So that leads us to the next point. Foster a culture of continuous learning. For you to build a team when we can, so one of the favorite quotes I have here is, it says that armed with enough humility, you can learn from anybody. So when you want to build a high-performing team, everybody must be willing to learn from everybody. So in your organization, you could even adopt a knowledge section to say, okay, come and teach us what you are good at for 30 minutes, for 1 hour. Let us learn from you. So it can be something that can be encouraged weekly. Okay, let's have a 30-minute session. Come and present to us. Come and share something with us, a knowledge session. Let us learn something from you and how you have been excelling. Because one of the places I worked, I had to teach my colleagues how to build relationship, because some of them just felt that just send email, send text, and submit invoices, that's how to build relationship. I go the extra mile. So we can learn from anyone when we are armed with humility. So we're encouraged. So for you to foster a culture of continuous learning, you need to encourage ongoing learning, innovation, improvement, to stay ahead of the curve and achieve long-term success. Remember that you're building a high-performing team, not a team that will perform today and will not perform tomorrow. It's continuous improvement. So I believe, for instance, I, as a system expert and team builder, I believe in progress more than perfection. I believe that we will keep getting better every day as long as we don't give up and as long as we don't take our eyes off the ball. So that is a culture that I'm trying to build with people around me, and to make them understand that, look, we can make this thing work. Let us keep trying. Let us keep, if there are areas where we need to improve, we will improve. There are areas where we need to adjust, we need to adjust. If there are areas where we need to stop, we need to stop. We don't need to sugarcoat it. Are you following? Do you have any question? Okay, let's flow on. Now, you must recognize and reward outstanding performance. When your team members are performing, praise them to the highest level, take them out, spoil them. And when you need to scold, when you need to correct them, please don't correct them publicly. You could call them in and say, okay, this is, I feel you could have done better this way, and not, oh, you never get anything right. I don't know if you work with such kind of people that said, you are always making mistake. I regret ever having you on my team. You hear phrases like, oh, you're a bunch of two left legs. Those things don't empower, rather they demoralize the team. I remember I worked in a financial institution, and my results were so poor, and we were called for an MPR, monthly performance review, and they said, okay, display your figures. I had good prospects, but they were not converting. I was looking as if I was a failure, and I could not take the backlash I was receiving. I don't know where I summoned courage from, and I just told them, I said, I will shock you. And they said, oh, I'm waiting for the shock. So a few days, one of my colleagues wanted to make mockery of me. I said, I will shock you. Where is the shock? And I just don't know when I got the courage, and I replied to him, I said, the fact that the shock has not come is a shock that will eventually shock every one of us when the shock comes. Wait for the shock, because it's going to shock you. And a few days after, I had a transaction that pulled through when every other person's transaction was failing, and everybody still hailing me, the performer. And I told him, I said, I will shock you. Hope you have received the shock. So we must acknowledge and reward team members' achievements and their contributions to motivate and retain top talent. So let us not just be quick to find out their faults. Let us also create a culture of encouraging and rewarding positivity. Let's appreciate their effort and their contribution. Then everybody will feel healthy to go the extra mile. Hope you're getting value. So let's flow on. That leads us to the next point. Build trust and psychological safety. When your team members feel safe where you are, they will go the extra mile. So when there's an environment where we care for one another, where we show empathy, where if somebody is not getting the job, we try to see, okay, what could be the challenge? And in this, for you to build trust and psychological safety, I will encourage that for us to build a team, we should be able to carry out what I call a strength audit. What is the strength of your team? Based on, look at it from the individual basis. What is this person good at? And in what areas is this person struggling? So what you need to do is pair your strong points on one end, and you now look at, okay, the weakness. Okay, even that weakness is actually a strength when we work together. So I would encourage that in building a team, we need to create an environment where team members feel safe to take risk, share ideas, collaborate without fear of judgment or retribution. You know, the reason why some people don't even want to say anything is that the one I've been saying, they keep, making mockery of me. So nobody wants to be in an environment where they make mockery of them. They want to be in an environment where they are encouraged, they are loved, and they are pampered. So that leads us to the next point. Monitor progress and make adjustments. So when you regularly assess your team to look at, okay, based on your strength audit, by the way, I would like to recommend you visit www.marcusbuckingham and take the strength assessment. It's called the standout assessment. You could actually Google that. That will help you to know your standout assessment, what stand out your strengths. Then it also exposes the other 7 parts of you that you are not even aware that you have. So the standard assessment focuses on what stands you out, so that as you are building a team, you build a team around what stands everyone out and not what weakens everyone out. So regularly assess team performance and identify areas for improvement, make adjustments to optimize results. Then that takes us to the next point. All right. So I would like to recommend 2 of those books. Building a Thriving Organization. In this book, you will discover the strategies to manage expectation and boost your team productivity. Then Only Quality People, you will get a lot of insight on how to unlock peak performance in yourself and in others. I hope you got value. All right, Felicia, over to you.
Oh, you are done? I was actually busy making notes, like I couldn't stop writing because this was too good. Very, very, very good. Please, those with us, can we hear from you? Do you agree with me that this was an awesome presentation? If you agree with me, let's hear from you and leave comments in the comment section. Bring in the questions. Wilson Sampson is here for you today. He has given us all this time just to help us become better team builders. So please don't just watch us. Let us know you are really with us by leaving us some questions and some comment. And then please say something. Let him know that you were here, you enjoyed it. Actually, I salute you, sir. This is awesome. I really, really, really enjoyed this session. So please, I have questions I would want to ask him, and I know you have your own questions. So in the next few minutes, the floor is opened. Kindly ask your questions. We are getting him today. The next time you see him, it won't be on the same topic. And he is an expert at this. Everything shows from the presentation that he is really an expert. Within just about 35 minutes, he has done justice to the topic, so much so that the questions I have are a lot, but we are going to try to ask him and then get more insight. Thank you so much. So before I zoom straight into the questions, let's take few announcements, like maybe a short break, and then we will come back. Please don't go anywhere. Just put your question, prepare your questions too, as I am doing for mine. And then when we come back, we ask all the questions, get clarity, and then we move on. So then, join us from the 24th to 26th September 2025 at the SEDAT Consult Conference Room, Accra. What is happening there? We are having a 3 days HR Analytics for Business Impact Workshop. 3 whole days, and all that we are going to do is HR Analytics for Business Impact. This is a workshop. You are going to learn to measure HR's impact on the bottom line and leverage HR systems for effective staff management. Please, it is only here that you will get this. It is only with us that you are going to get this. So please, if you want more information on this, just call our number. If you are watching us from outside, then you would have to add the code +233, and then you do 591405555. The fives are four, quadruple five. So +233 591405555. Yes. So please, if you are in Ghana, you don't need to add the +233. Just do 0591405555. And then we will be glad to give you more for you to be a part of this awesome 3 days workshop. And then, hey, please mark your calendars for the 30th of October. Yay! October is actually my month of birth. And then this 30th of October 2025, all roads leads to the Golden Bean Hotel in Kumasi for the SEDAT HR Conference. Ha! That is the Kumasi Edition. You know, we had one in Takrade not long ago. And the theme we are working with this time around is HR for sustainable growth, aligning strategy with business success. This full day event will bring together top HR leaders and business executives. Please, if you would want to join, there is an QR code that we will share with you later. You will scan it and register, or you still call the number I gave out earlier. That is 0591 405555. Thank you so much. Let's go back and then talk to Wilson. Let's see. All right. So then, Mr. Sampson, I have few questions that I
All
would
right.
want to ask. Yes, that is for me. And then later I'll see if other people also have questions. So, you emphasize culture as a key factor, to build high performing teams. So, from your own experience, what practical steps can HR take to shape a culture that truly sustains performance? Because if you ask every HR will tell you, I have a culture, and they will tell you that the culture is the type that builds. But maybe just one key from the culture they say they have, just one key that stands out to make sure that whatever they build is sustainable. You know that today it is there and tomorrow it is gone, and we need to think about new ways of building a new sort of culture. So it doesn't help to retain staff, because when they come, whatever they began with, when they enter into the organization, they realize that no, what I was told during onboarding is not really what I am seeing. And because of that, they lose interest and they are in a hurry to run out. But please, if there is one thing that stands out you can share with us, we will be grateful.
Okay. One of the things that I would encourage is building meaningful relationship. You know, most often the culture is get the work done, get the work done. But how about the welfare of the person who should get the work done?
Right.
So people are more important than paper.
Okay.
People are more important than projects.
Mm.
So the focus should be people first. If a culture where the buy-in of everybody is important in achieving the goal, it's sustainable. So it's not built around one person. So because an HR can work for XYZ and leave and go to ABC.
Yeah.
So the culture of XYZ is different from the culture of ABC.
Right.
But there is something very important. It's what will you be remembered for? Will you be remembered as somebody who does not care about how people feel?
Mm.
Or will you be remembered by someone, will you be remembered as someone who shows empathy, who gets involved to see that people make progress?
Mm.
You know, most times people run around the HR because of appraisals. Let
Oh
me do
yeah.
all my best so that I will not be demoted or I will not be fired. But
True.
that culture is not sustainable. So
Right.
rather, you are going to be building a fearful set of people who will only service your eye when you are around. And when you are not around, they'll be saying, ah, thank God this person is not around. We can now have a sigh of relief. So one of the things, key thing is build relationship with your team. They can go any length when they feel safe that you have their interests at heart.
Wow.
Unfortunately, most times, we some people use others to scotchy point. They want to be seen as the people who are performing and the team as people who are underperforming. So, but when a relationship is built where the leader does not take the glory, but recognizes the effort of the people he or she is working with, that culture will help the organization to go far, faster, and further.
Right, right. Wow, wow. I think one of the points that stood out right now is people are more important than paper and project. And then when I go to the comment section, I see that that is what everybody is referring to. I see Emalina Date, and she is loving that particular comment. She loves it so much. Nana Equia is also loving that comment. And I see Achebe Chinelu. He also loves that comment. And I mean, Anointing of Gladness is also loving that comment. And of course, Achebe Chinelu is adding up that as an HR, will you be remembered for how you make people feel? Which is one of the things, the profound statements our able guest just made. I mean, today we are getting nuggets that we can never ever forget. Abimbola Samson is also saying that indeed, people first. All of you joining us, we are so much grateful that you are here with us. I see Michael Kisi watching from Cape Coast. Thank you for joining. I see a whole lot of people joining us. Sunday, Sunday, let me just call you Sunday. I don't want to get your surname wrong. I am not ready to buy a goat. So let me just go with your first name, Sunday. Sunday is joining us. And then Abimbola is joining us. Perfect Furnishing is also here with us. Adi Bokola is also here with us. And a whole lot of people. Thank you guys for joining us, because if we come and you don't come, what are we here to do? This is awesome. So, you people, since you are not asking your questions, I'm asking my own questions. So, I'm asking my own questions. So, guys, please leave your own questions in the comments section, and we will do well to read it out for Wilson Sampson to do justice to it. So, please, there is one thing that I have realized, and today, because you are here, and I think it is one of the things you are very passionate about, because I heard that one of the things you kept hammering on was clear communication. But one thing I have realized also is that clear communication sounds very simple. Often it sounds simple, but many leaders struggle with it. What systems or practices have you seen make communication more effective in teams? Maybe there is
Well,
one or two things we can get from you, because it sounds simple. By now, when you were talking, I was doing this. Maybe I go and I try to practice it, but I still get it wrong. To me, I think I'm making it clear. It's simple, but still, it doesn't yield result. Please, can you help us with some practical, I mean, or systems we can use to get this particular thing right?
okay, one of the things is commitment. You know, as a leader building a team, you must not be a politician. You must mean your word and say what you mean.
Wow.
Now, if you have passed an information across and your team members are not getting it, feel free to call them together and have a conversation, not to scold them. Let them know that, okay, what aspect of this communication don't you understand? Because when we dish out instruction, go and get this done, go and get this done, go and get this
Mm-hmm.
done, commitment is not there. It's
Right.
just throwing it up in the air.
Mm.
So instead of people to be clear, they end up getting confused.
Yeah.
So it's just like in business, they would tell you that a confused customer will never buy from you. So most times in the workplace, we get people more confused than we actually get them clear. So when they are confused, they are not clear. And when they are not clear, they are not committed. And that cycle continues. So at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you complain that these people are not performing. It's because they don't understand what you are saying.
Mm.
So as an HR leader, you need to show commitment. Be willing to learn from your teammates. Be willing to admit, oh, maybe I did not explain properly. Okay, let me
Mm-hmm.
explain. Let me, okay, what aspect of this don't you understand? Feel free to communicate as many times as possible until they get it.
Right.
Because some people are seen from a shattered lens. For instance, I once worked with someone who, when you communicate with the person tells you, okay, I'll get back to you. By midnight, you receive a mail of insults.
Oh.
I told you to do X, Y, Z, and this is what you did. And but I presented something to you. So what I was it was very, very troubling experience for me. So what I
Right.
had to do was, okay, let me understand this person. So when you give me an instruction, is this what you mean? Is this what you mean? Is this what you mean? It might look embarrassing, but it saved me a lot of heartache
Mm-hmm.
than assuming, okay, I know what you want. I know what you want, and I'll be jumping around. No, and at the end of the day, I become confused when I'm trying to provide solution to what the responsibility I'm given to. So commitment on the part of the leader and commitment on the part of the team members is what will actually make the difference. Hope I
Right.
answered you.
You have. You have actually answered me, and I never even thought of it that way. Commitment. Honestly, the example you were given is so much true. I have seen a situation whereby a subordinate goes to a boss to ask that, please, I didn't really get what you said when you called the team together. Please, can you help me get it alone? You know, we are all not on equal understanding this thing. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. But what comes out of the boss's mouth is when I was talking was water in my mouth. Were you not there with your colleagues? How will they understand and you will not understand? Get out of here and go and say, do what I asked you to do. I mean, at the end of the day, this person, can that person even do the job they came to do that day? Not even just that day. Would they even be able to come back to to their boss for? So this is a really important. Please, my people, let's be committed till they get it. We don't stop communicating, and then even saying it, we say them with empathy. That is how we get the team going. So in the comment section, I see we have some questions. Let's okay. So Nanaipia has a question, although it is not directly related to what we are doing today. Maybe we could still help her because she's asking that please is tier two mandatory for a company to pay for its staff? If yes, should the employee be in the know on which organization it is being paid to? Yeah. Okay. So Wilson, would you want to take this or I can just talk about it?
Okay, talk about it because I did not hear the question clearly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's talking about tier two. So tier two is yes, it is part of the benefits that we pay for staff, maybe in Ghana. And then yes,
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, talk about it. Uh,
excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall. So excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall.
Sorry, people. Oh, something happened and I dropped off, but I'm back. I'm so sorry. Nanekia, I think you are still here to get your answer. And then please, I hope everybody else is here. There are questions here. We are doing justice to them before we leave. I'm so sorry for that interruption, but that won't stop us. We are dealing with this before we get out of here. Thank you so much for staying tuned. So please, Nanekia, as I was saying, yes, it must be paid by your organization for you. And then you have every right to know which organization is paying. And then you can even request to know if it is being paid month on month. You have to know because when you are leaving organization A, in case you are leaving that organization to another organization, you are done working there, you want to move on to another organization to continue your career, you can transfer what has been paid by organization A to the tier 2 provider paying for your current organization. Okay, so let's say your organization A that you were working with were paying your tier 2 through XXL company, who is a tier 2 provider. Then you've left organization A and now you are with organization B, but they do not use XSL tier 2 provider. Maybe they use BBC tier 2 provider. You can transfer what organization A paid with XSL to BBC tier 2 provider. It is yours, so you can move it for all of them to be at the same place. Even if you don't want that way, you can leave what organization A paid with XSL for it to be there, and then whatever organization B is going to pay to BBC can also be there. But in the future, when you need them, they are all yours under your name, so you can have it. So please, to answer your question, it is a yes. Thank you so much. So Mr. Wilson, this is a question for you. Someone says, that is Sunday. Sunday is asking that, can Mr. Wilson give insight on how to integrate the weakest link, that is an underperforming staff, into the team in the workplace for effectiveness rather than firing the person? So please, Mr. Wilson, this is yours.
Great question. Well, let me come in from this angle. In the workplace, unfortunately, this is a wrong practice that we have been involved in over the years. we focus on what is wrong with the employee rather than what is strong in the employee. So
Wow, another
how do I
quality
mean?
right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
We look at the weakness and we send them on training in area of weakness. Nobody encourages strength audits to say, what is this person strong in? What are the strong traits of this employee? Now, that weak link, that perceived weak link, can actually be a strong link if the person is put in the right environment where the person will function.
Wow.
So
Wow.
remember, I said that people are more important than paper.
Right.
So if people are more important than paper, imagine the person who produces paper. Will you tell the person that the person is useless because the person is not drilling oil? Now, paper is important, but without paper, how will we be able to script the things that we script down? So when it comes to the value chain, when it comes to such situation, you look at what is the contribution of this perceived weak link to the growth of the organization. Nobody is entirely useless. Everybody is useful in their own way. But unfortunately, when you deploy the person in the wrong area, you will see the weaknesses expanded and enlarged or completely exposed. But when you put that same individual in the right environment where they flourish, it's just like you imagine taking a fish on flying lessons. And you say, oh, you're a dullard. Oh, fish, you don't know how to fly. That is not the natural habitat of the fish. So in
Right.
organizations, we should look deep into what is the natural habitat of our employees. What is that their strength domain? That is one of the things that HR need to look at. What is
Right.
the strength domain of our employees? So that you don't take somebody who is good in accounting and tell the person to start interfacing in sales. Somebody who is an introvert, you are now forcing the person because you want to hit targets, and you are now taking the person from the person's strength domain to the person's weak domain. According to Gallup says that when you train yourself in the area of excellence, you are able to achieve more than 90% success or excellence at what you do. But when you train yourself in the area of weakness, perceived weakness,
Right.
you achieve less than 25%. That's why I said, let us focus on what is strong in the individual and not what we think is wrong in the individual.
Wow. Wow. People, you will agree with me that today we could spend about 5 hours here, and then all we will get is a lot of knowledge and insight, and we won't get bored because this is very insightful. Mr. Wilson came really loaded, and all of this is just ours. Thank you, sir. Thank you so,
You're
so, so,
welcome.
so much.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
thank you. So, um, okay, so Brago Asantua says, thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. Please share the link for the assessment. Yes, definitely, we will share the link. All you have to do is remember to follow us so that when we share the link on our socials, you get them. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube, where you joined us from. We are on LinkedIn as well, and we will do well to share the links Mr. Wilson mentioned there so that you can have them. So please do well to follow us. The same name on all socials, SEDAT HR Digest or SEDAT HR Consult. If you follow us, you get to, yeah. And then, yeah, Michael Kisi, thank you so much. So, Nanekia, Michael has also helped in answering your question. Kindly read it from the comment section. And then Achebe Chinelu says that, wow, nobody is useless. Caught my spirit. Yeah, it really will. It really will. I'm with you. Now, Emma Date says that, how do you identify high performers during the recruitment stage? So, Mr. Wilson, you would have to help Emma Date. She would want to know how to identify high performers right during the recruitment stage. Thank you.
Well, it can be challenging trying to get a high performing individual during recruitment stage. Why? Because during interview, everybody appears to be at their best.
Mm-hmm. Very
So
true.
time will tell if actually that person is actually a high performing team member. You may be performing well in a particular organization or industry. When you come to another industry, it's a different ball game.
Mm-hmm. True.
So it's not a cast in stone. In as much as you want to hire the best, who you think might be the best might actually be the worst hire. And the person you think is not good enough might actually be the miracle worker at the end of the
Right.
day.
That is very true.
So one of the things we look out for is who has the organization at heart, who is the individual who is able to align his or her vision and expectation to what the organizational goal is. There was a video I watched recently, and I was looking at organizational goal and individual goal, and they lined up 48 bottles, and they said, okay, start running. The person with individual goal was started from the first set of bottles, and it was going up, and I was thinking he was meeting his goal, while the person with organizational goal started from the last and started coming down. It's easy to think that, okay, because you're starting from the ones that are close by, you are going to succeed. Now, at the end of the day, the person who started from the last got filled up the crates faster than the person who started from the nearby bottles to fill up the crates. So you need somebody who has the interest of the organization at heart. That person will perform over time than somebody who comes in to say, you know what, I have done it before, just let me come on board, and you see the miracle I'll perform. And you just be shocked that it is disaster that the person will bring in.
Right.
So what you
Right.
look at for is somebody who clearly understands the organization's goal
Right.
and willing to contribute over time, willing to make mistakes, willing to learn the ropes, willing to receive feedback, whether tough, constructive, or destructive, but looking at the big picture, say, okay, what can I do to make a difference? So one of the things you look at for is somebody who is willing to make the difference, and not somebody who is trying to disrupt what already exists
Right.
with something that will not lead the organization anywhere. That's my thoughts anyway.
Right. And I think we agree with you because at interviews, everybody prepares, and we have people who even do chew and pour just because they want to get into the organization. So it's true to be able to identify them right on the spot is quite difficult, but you've given us some insight on that, and we are grateful. So, few comments. Then people, we said we are closing at exactly 5, but we have taken some minutes because it's very insightful. But please spare me some 5 minutes, and then we will wrap up for the day. So, Achebe Chenelo says that we should look out for everyone's strength and put them where they best fit. Bam. She's quoting from what you said. And then quoting again from what you said, nobody's entirely useless. Everyone is valuable. Focus on the strength domain of your employee, not their weakness. And Achibe says, very true. Achibe says everyone actually appears the best at an interview. So, and Abimbola is re-emphasizing your point that said that time will tell if the performance, will last or for a few months after being hired. And Emmanuel Cisco says that insightful conversation. Achibe says, thank you, Mr. Wilson. Time actually tells those with organizational goal and interest. Willingness to follow through with the organization goal. That is And then Achebe continues to say, I agree with you, sir. Absolutely, 100%. And that is from Abimbola. People, all too soon, we would have to draw the curtains here. But in 1 minute, Wilson, please, if you can actually help us finally for HR leaders listening to us, or organizational leaders, executives listening to us today, what is the one non-negotiable principle they must personally model to build and maintain a high-performing team? Just one, maybe in the next 1 minute, just to wrap up your everything, and then we can be out of here. Thank you.
All right, that's fine. I will just recommend three C's. The three C's
Okay.
are clarity, culture, and commitment. Pay
Right,
attention to these three things,
right, right.
and
So people,
that would do the magic over time.
awesome. So people, even if you did not get anything out of today's webinar, you got the three C's: clarity. I know the last one is commitment. Please help me with the second one.
Culture and
Culture.
yeah.
Commitment. So clarity, culture, and commitment. If you work around these three and you work it out well, then you are on your way to having a best performing team. So, Altusin, we bring this section to a close. And I know that you wish we continued. We also wish we continued. So we will do well to bring you the link to the assessment site he mentioned. And then you also know that he mentioned some books that you should get that will help you to excel. So we will do well to post all of those things, but it will be on our social media platforms. And you know, the only way to get it is to follow us. So please follow so that as soon as we share it, you get them and then use it to become the best version of you. So before I sign out, let me remind you again, let me remind you again that we have a 3-day workshop on HR analytics for business impact coming up on the 24th to 26th of this very month. And it is happening right in the conference room of the SEDAT Consult located in Accra. This one is not Kumasi. We are having it right here in Accra. And then you will learn to measure HR impact on the bottom line and leverage HR systems for effective staff management. And then we have said that if you need more info, the rate and everything, just reach out to us on +233 59 140 5555. And quickly, please be reminded that 30th October 2025 at the Golden Beam Hotel in Kumasi comes the SEDAT HR Conference, Kumasi Edition. Kumasi people, are you ready? All people in Kumasi and its environs. Even if you're in Accra and you want to join, of course, you can join us. And the theme is HR for Sustainable Growth, aligning strategy with business success. The full day event will bring together top HR leaders and business executives. Please register by calling the same number +233 5940 5555. Please, we know that you enjoy this. If you enjoyed the event, please in the comment section, let's give shout out to SEDAT HR Consult Services. You know, they are into recruiting, training, outsourcing, and then HR consulting, everything HR. Please reach out. If you need a training for your team, whatever, you want to do recruitment, they can help you. You want to outsource, they can help you. So this is me, Felicia Aye, and we have been together for over 1 hour and 20 minutes. And this was possible because you stayed tuned with us. Thank you so much for being here with us, and a very big thank you to Wilson Sampson for giving us this insight, all for free of charge. Thank you so much. See you next week, same time, same place. Shalom. Have a beautiful week ahead. Tomorrow is a holiday. Enjoy it.
We are so excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall. Thank you.